Part 2, ECW, and it's fitting that we should go from a match on Raw, where John Cena pretended to be a superhero, to a match on ECW, which contained an actual superhero in the shape of the Hurricane. Because the first match was the Hurricane versus Paul Burchill. Pretty good match. I didn't really get into it for some reason. I don't know. I felt they both did their jobs pretty well. No idea. The Hurricane's really over, of course, which always helps. I felt Paul Burchill did a great job playing the aggressive heel, shouting at the crowd, "Is this your hero?" and all that sort of stuff. I thought that was good. Don't know why this guy's a jobber at all. He's clearly awesome, as proved by a sort of double Pele type kick he did later on in this match. The end of the match comes, and it's a fairly good ending, where the Hurricane goes for Shining Wizard, which should clearly be his finisher, because it's much better than Eye of the Hurricane, which is just shit. And then Paul Burchill reverses it into the Dangerous Buster, which apparently is his finishing move, and apparently is a brain buster. Does Paul Burchill even need a finishing move? He's a massive jobber. He never gets to hit his finisher. Ever. If he hit his finisher, they just no-sell it. I mean, seriously. But anyway, the Hurricane wins with the Eye of the Hurricane. Pretty good match. We go backstage, we meet the newest ECW interviewer, who's called Courtney Taylor, and seems like a totally vacant human being who I presume will be GM within the next 2 months. Who knows? She's interviewing Tommy Dreamer, who basically just gets mugged by William Regal and Vladimir Kozlov. Regal just comes in and he's being quite hilariously weird by just poking Tommy Dreamer's injured arm, which is taped up, and then Kozlov just comes from behind him and just smacks him with a few headbutts, and Regal hits him with the knee trembler. And then they play up the whole ECW staple. Oh, we were going to have a tag team match as the main event, but one of the participants is injured. They do this like every fucking week, seriously. This whole build-up contained one of the worst backstage segments I've ever seen between Courtney Taylor and Tiffany, who are basically the same person. I mean, seriously, if Courtney Taylor went to Tiffany's mother's house for Christmas dinner instead of Tiffany, I think Tiffany's mother would just accept it. I really do. I mean, these people, totally interchangeable. That was some of the worst acting I've ever seen. We had the Abraham Washington show, speaking of bad acting. He comes out and does his usual... He's almost entertaining. He does that applause sign he has. I think that works. He introduces Goldust and mocks Goldust for a bit, then introduces Sheamus, and then Sheamus delivers about a one-line promo, and then him and Goldust just stare at each other for like, I don't know, a minute. It was kind of odd. It wasn't very good at all. Then we had Zack Ryder versus Yoshitatsu. This was a very short match, which did the right thing in making Yoshitatsu look shit and making Zack Ryder look very, very good. Ryder looked really good in this match. He worked on Tatsu's left arm. He did it really well. Everything was so precise. Delivered a nice arm breaker, hung him up in the ropes. He did all sorts of really nice stuff. I was quite impressed. The end of the match was kind of terrible though, with Yoshitatsu trying to deliver a springboard elbow over the ropes, and Zack Ryder just putting the knees up to Tatsu's injured arm and getting the pin, which I didn't understand, because he was doing like a springboard move, you know? And I was just like, well, if his arm hurt that much, he surely wouldn't do that. I mean, it didn't make all that much sense, but never mind. Main event, Christian and Tommy Dreamer. It was supposed to be versus William Regal and Vladimir Kozlov. But instead, we get Christian and his choice of partner, which is Ezekiel Jackson. What a shocker. I think everyone knew it was going to be Ezekiel Jackson. Although Matt Striker said that Christian has shocked the world by picking him as his partner. Anyway, this match was quite short. It was okay. It started off kind of well, as Vladimir Kozlov matches tend to do, because he's quite good for the first minute and then just runs completely out of ideas and just does the same moves over and over again. William Regal's really over. There's a great Regal sucks chant here. Kozlov and Ezekiel Jackson never meet at any point. And I actually thought they were going to turn into a tag team, and that's what happens basically. Ezekiel Jackson hits a nice Uranagi on Christian where he lands on his neck, and then Vladimir Kozlov hits his finisher as well on Christian, and then William Regal holds both their arms up. And I was thinking at this point, I'd kind of like them to turn on William Regal as well. I know WWE doesn't like to do the things where, you know, heels attack heels, but I felt it would have made them look more dominant if they got Regal as well. It was quite good. I quite enjoyed it. It wasn't bad at all. I'm still kind of liking Jackson Kozlov. I don't know why. WWE Superstars. ECW was patchy. Superstars was appalling. And this show goes back and forth every week between really good and really bad. Testament to that, the fact Bobby gave it best show last week, which I agree with. This week, I'm going to give it worst show of the week in the awards. And, you know, both those things are true. This show was terrible. Kelly versus Beth Phoenix. This was sort of an above average Divas match. Nothing too offensive here. Kelly did some nice roll-ups, but that was about it. Beth Phoenix wins. Shelton Benjamin versus Tyler Rex. Tyler Rex, no charisma. In fact, Josh Matthews said Tyler Rex is exciting and invigorating. He's certainly made an impression on the WWE universe. No, he's not. He actually hasn't made any kind of an impression. No one knows he's even there. I presume when I watch Tyler Rex, it must be what everyone else sees when they watch Carlito, because everyone else just sits there in bored silence and zones out when Carlito is wrestling, even though Carlito is really good. Tyler Rex, in my view, is not really good, but I like, seriously, when he starts wrestling, I just can't watch. I just think it's crap. I really do. Benjamin wins with a nice dragon whip kick and then pay dirt. Then we have Charlie Haas versus R-Truth. R-Truth, of course, comes out singing "What's Up?" and I'm like, "What's up? You're on Superstars, and Mike Knox and Finlay are on SmackDown. This is a fucking disgrace." This match wasn't even very good, and the ending came out of nowhere, as I believe, maybe not. Anyway, R-Truth hit the lie detector. This was rubbish. Then I was delighted with the fact we had all these video packages, because it took time out of the main event, which was obviously going to be abhorrent to me. It made me long for the days where Big Show versus Hornswoggle was the main event on Superstars, because the main event is Mark Henry versus Chris Masters. This was awful. Of course this was awful. This was always going to be abysmal. This is shit. No one likes either of these two. They should both be massive, massive jobbers. Seriously. Cole, at the start of the match, goes, "What a surprise. Another WWE Superstars main event, another Raw main event." And I'm just like, Cole, this match is fucking shit. You shouldn't be, you know, I wouldn't even commentate on this. This was appalling. So the story behind this match is, will Chris Masters be able to lock the Master Lock on Mark Henry? Of course not. Clearly not. You can see he can't. But Chris Masters clearly thinks he's a great actor, and there were some attempts at psychology which just made the match worse, where Masters goes for a scoop slam, or which he clearly obviously couldn't do, and Masters, they get in a collar elbow tie up, and Masters is pushed towards the ropes, and then he just looks shocked that he got overpowered. Of course you're going to get overpowered, you moron. King once again talks about how painful the Master Lock is and all this. Masters gets World's Strongest Slam next to the ropes, and he tries to put his foot on it, misses, because he's that incompetent, and then has to grab it with his hands. But then Masters walks away, having not kicked out, but not been pinned by the World's Strongest Slam. And I was like, oh, come on. Someone had to go over here. I can't stand both of these guys being considered real contenders. They're both fucking jobbers, right?